everybody, and welcome to day 5 of my Halloween series. And today I have done what appears to be some sort of a 1950s rockabilly ghost zombie type thing, so I'm looking a bit undead at the minute, but I suppose living in the 1950s I could have died like a rockabilly, but yeah, hence the little sort of headband and things. But yeah, this is quite a fun thing to do. I didn't follow any instructions, I didn't have any ideas, I just sat down and worked, and yeah, I kind of like it. I would actually go to a party like this. This would probably be my look for the year. But yeah, I've added some nice fake blood just to kind of add to the effect. So yeah, I'm a little dead at the minute, so I hope you have enjoyed this one. This one's a little bit more sort of normal makeup meets Halloween makeup. My voice is getting going, so that's not a good sign. But yeah, so this is quite glam and sassy as well as being a bit eerie. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you tomorrow for day 6. We're almost done. Bye! So just to start off as normal, I am using my Collection 2000 Primed and Ready Eye Primer. The look we're going for today is a bit more glam and a bit more of an eye look that I would usually wear myself if I was ever to go out. So this is just really making sure we've got a nice even base to work with. So the two palettes I'm using today are the Morphe 25A and 25B. They're full of a lot of autumnal colours, but we're using this sort of light reddy brownie as our crease and our transition shade. So you just want to apply it in circular motions, bringing it, smoking it as you go, and just bringing it above your natural crease, and bringing it right down into the corners of your eye, so it makes it easier to smoke out later on. Apologies for the strange camera stuff going on there. But as you see, it is a nice sort of transition colour. It's not too light and it's not too dark either, and it just gives that nice smoky effect to start already. And as usual folks, it's easier to, apply a little bit at a time rather than the whole lot. I know this is just our transition shade, but because of the base colour for our face we'll be using, you don't want to be having much fallout either. So you want to keep the brush moving and just add on a little bit as you go, which makes it easier to keep the two eyes even. Next I'm going to be using a joint effort of these two colours, which are quite a reddy and a burgundy colour. So we're just going to go into our natural crease with a flat-headed brush to apply the first colour, which is like a deep red, and this is going to be acting as like our actual cut crease colour. As you can see, I am applying it in circular motions, wow, circular motions, and I'm also making it kind of come out sharper at the edge to give a kind of a more glam cat eye look, because the look I'm going for today is like a 1950s rockabilly look, and everyone knows one major part of that is the cat eye flick and the cat eye definition. So you just want to follow that to make it look more authentic, and it just makes it look a whole lot more glam, because babes, we're not going for an ugly dead gal, we're going for a sassy dead gal today. And you want to also smoke underneath the lower lash line as well. As I said, we are wanting to look a little bit dead today, so we want to bring the colours quite dark and quite hollow. So I'm in now with the burgundy colour, just going over the crease shape that we have already made, just to deepen it and emphasise the sort of cat eye shape. And we're also wanting to bring this down underneath. As you see, it will be quite a deep hollow look, which is what we want to give the sort of dull deadness to the eyes. Next I'm going into this sort of shiny coppery shade just on the lid, and it's best to kind of pat this on the eye rather than sweep, because you don't want to end up sweeping it off. It just acts as a little bit of a highlighter, and we'll also be bringing it into the corners of our eyes, again to act as a highlight, but also to make the sort of depth of the eyes a lot more prominent. As I said, we don't want to have nice bright eyes, we want to have kind of dead looking eyes. So once we've done that, I'm just taking a fluffy headed brush and I'm going to be blending the colours together in a circular upwards and outwards motion, just to kind of emphasise it and make it look more dramatic. And of course, to finish off the eyes, we're adding the signature 1950s Rockabilly's cat eye flick. You want to use small strokes and not rush it, that makes the best look. I for one have found in the past that the smaller strokes with a liquid liner are a lot easier to manage, especially if you're not used to working with a liquid, and it just allows you to take your time and make sure that you can get both eyes even. Off screen I did of course even it up and make the eyeliner a bit more dramatic, as you will see. But yeah, just take your time and practice makes perfect. So to finish off the eyes, as you can see my eyeliner is complete. I'm just putting on a slick of mascara. I'm using my Maybelline one as usual, before moving on to my base, which I'm using this cheap ass white foundation I got out of Tesco for 90p I think, using a damp beauty blender with my little cup of water there. And you just want to apply a good amount and kind of use this one as a primer. A wax face paint is better I think. So I'm just using this to take the initial sort of more sallow tone out of my own skin, and just covering my lips as well and down my neck, because you don't want to have two different coloured, you know, parts of skin, you know, tan neck, white face, that would look a bit silly. And then I'm using this packed wax makeup slash face paint, and again with the beauty blender we're just going to be patting this on. I think I've got a better look or better knack to it today. And we want to kind of look a greyish sort of white today to give it that nice sort of ghostly dead effect. And as you can see, it has worked quite well today. We're just continuously patting and going over any patchy parts just to give it a nice look. And now we're going to go into some fake blood, which I have never really worked with, but just to give the sort of impression of death. I'm going to add a little bit of blood to my nostril and just sort of dab it on with an angled brush. You don't want to do like a drop of blood, you just kind of want to dab it on, because no one ever gets a perfect drop. We're looking lovely and dead, and you just want to kind of put fake blood, you know, where you think you might have it if you were a dead person. Literally just died, we'll say, because obviously dead people don't continue to bleed whenever they're gone. So I'm doing it on my nostrils to make it look a bit crusty. Ew, crusty. And then I'll also be applying it to the corners of my eyes, and then more than likely to the corner of my mouth as well. So this is just adding it, you know, adding the effects and making it look a bit more theatrical than just my usual makeup, because at the moment, minus the white face paint, I actually would wear this eye look, and look at my beak hanging open. And as you can see, it's starting to really come together. I've just added some blood in the corners of my eyes and coming down my cheeks a bit, and it is looking a bit creepy now. Next I'm going to contour my face, so rather than using a bronze or a tan, I'm using this sort of greyish eyeshadow down the sides of my nose, which is a little bit deep at the minute, so I'll obviously want to give that a bit of a blend. There we are. And then I'm just going to be contouring my face with that as well, using a fluffy eyeshadow brush to start. And then I will of course be using a bigger fluffy brush to blend it as we go. But you want to bring it down and shape your cheeks, and you also then want to be shaping along your hairline just to add the shadow, and this also makes you look a bit more grey rather than just the white. But yeah, it is quite hard to make sure, you know, you're not getting a big solid line. Just keep that brush moving and lightly dance it on your face. You don't want to lean too heavily, otherwise it would look you know, too heavy and more like you've just drawn grey lines on. You want to give it a smoky look. So as you see, I'm just stippling it into my hairline as well, again just so it's not a solid line across my forehead. And as I said, I am using a blending brush or a little powder brush, and I'm just running this over the contour that I've done on my face, just to kind of make it more smoky, because obviously the face paint is stickier, so you just want to really smoke it in and take your time with it to make sure it looks good. And here I'm deciding just to add a little bit more sort of shadow underneath my eyes. I obviously wasn't happy with how hollow I was looking, so I'm just taking that grey that we used to contour our face and I'm patting it in below, just into like the first section of my under eye, just to where that wee pouchy bit is where your cheek starts, and it's just making it look a bit more sort of deathly and a bit more hollow, and less glam, let's be honest. It's almost a bit of a Uncle Fester under eye look we've got going on here. Next we're moving on to our lips, and I'm applying a concealer to my lips as a base before applying the NYX Liquid Suede in this nice dark purple. I use the concealer to mattify my lips. We don't want this slipping everywhere. So as you see, it's a nice sort of gothic-y, dead looking colour. And I'm just kind of emphasising the shape of my lips a little bit more. Just adding to the overall look, I think, really. And then once I have got this on, I'm using my Rimmel Lip Art in this sparkly red, just to make it a bit more fancy. And kind of finish the look off. And then I'll be adding a little blood to the side of my mouth. And this is my look complete. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!